control. Her gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She caught me with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Paranormal Portal Night Terrors. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and I am here on this fine Sunday evening, ready to keep you company and hopefully entertain you as the night progresses. Hope you've had a good weekend. It's kind of the tail end of it all, but thanks for spending that here with me on the show. I really appreciate it. It means the world. It really does. I mean, I say that every time. Paranormal Portal, not hammer time. Yeah, no, not hammer time. But that was a good song back in the day. So, hope everything's going good. It is Sunday night. I know tomorrow's Monday, which is not usually a real festive occasion for most of us, but you know what? It could be a great day. Again, I'm just gonna keep sending that to you guys every Sunday, rather than dismiss Monday as just a shrapnel of the work week and kind of the worst day of the work week. Just try to program your days. Try to program them as awesome days. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. Tomorrow's going to be amazing. I'm going to get fantastic news tomorrow. Something really good's going to happen. You know, just something like that. See what happens. Maybe we actually can program our days. I mean, when you think of kids, like you know, you got a little kid. They don't care what day it is. They're just excited about every day, and every day is exciting for them. So maybe it's just how we program it, you know. Going to work, I agree, is not usually the funnest thing that we do, but you can have great days at work. You can have great days in your job, and I think maybe that starts with us. So just some thoughts to try to send you into the work week with a smile on your face, because I think that's important. So take it or leave it, but that's the best I got for you. But as always, during the Paranormal Portal, the phone lines will be open. I will be waiting for you to call. If any of you out there have something in paranormal or some experience or some ideas you had about the paranormal that you'd like to discuss, just feel free to call in 720-923-0500, 720-923-0500, and come, get a hold of us. I'd love to hear from you guys. So just some options out there, ladies and gentlemen. But it's always great when you guys call in. We've had more and more people calling in and taking part in the shows, and I think that's awesome. That's really fun. It's great to hear from you guys and to hear what's on your mind. It's what I got the phones for, so we might as well use them for something. I think that's a fun thing. So anyway, I hope you do call in. If you need to, it's there. If you don't need to, well, it's still there. So I have a bunch of stories pulled up for you all ready to go, but I guess that brings us up to this part where I just tell you it's time for bed. Boom, we're back, and I'm here. I was here waiting the whole time, but did you miss me? Did you guys miss me? I'm back. I'm just kidding. Let's see, what's going on? There's a lot of things going on right now for the show and a lot of things that we're working on, so we got a lot of exciting announcements to come in the near future. Well, hopefully they're exciting. I mean, they are for us. Hopefully they will be for you too, but few changes on the horizon. But hopefully good ones. Hopefully it all works out. for everyone, but I don't know. I don't know if you're one of those people that it loves change or you resist change. So I guess we'll find out what kind of people you guys are, or which of you are resistant to change and which of you embrace change. But I guess we'll find out. Not I don't know. I guess some pretty fundamental changes, but it's still going to be your portal. It's still going to be the same kind of shows going on, but we'll get into more of that as we can unveil it, as everything's ready to be unveiled. So just know that in between the shows, in between the times when you see me and me and Don, or Don and I, however I should be saying that, in between that time, Don and I are continuing to adapt and mold the idea of the paranormal portal and what it is. And so we're never just resting on our laurels here. We're always working towards some kind of future vision of the portal. So hopefully, hopefully you guys appreciate what that is. I gotta hydrate. I've been eating just garbage today. Oh, I don't know what it is about today, but just getting closer to the holidays, it's like I give myself more excuses to eat crap. But I shouldn't. But oh well. As long as I penalize myself for the next few days, just before, of course, Christmas, then I can reindulge again in all the stupidity just for another day. But anyway, what? Oh, is that an order? Julia, is that an order? I will just, I don't even have it ready to do that. I'll dig it up. Maybe tomorrow night I'll have it ready for you, Julia. But I don't want to put everybody on hold while I dig up the pictures and save them and then get them up on the screen. But yeah, we'll do that. Actually, Julia, I got to give you a call prior to that, if you don't mind. So there's a couple things I want to run past you. And now that I'm talking to you, I gotta remember to do that. So maybe I'll give you a call following the show tonight if you're available. Okay, so I got stories for you. I hope you're ready to be entertained, because I am ready to entertain you as well as I'm going to be able to, which I hope is profoundly, but maybe it won't be. But I'm going to give it my all, ladies and gentlemen. So here we go. The first one tonight is coming out of Louisiana. And it says, this one's kind of short. It says, I get asked a lot, how do you get started? Or why do you decide to be a ghost hunter? I guess this was written by a ghost hunter. Okay. Oh, the title is The Reason I'm a Ghost Hunter. So let's see what this person says. The answer is simple. Experience. When I was 16, I was like a lot of people, a skeptic. I am originally from a small town in central Louisiana named Jonesville, and there's a house there that's all boarded up. Where is it? There it is. A lot of the guys from school there told me it was haunted, and I didn't believe them. One night in the summer, I decided I'd go check for myself. I went to the house, walked around behind the house, and nothing happened. Behind the house was 3 graves, and I was thinking, well, that's why they think it's haunted. I started to leave, and as I got halfway around the house, it got freezing cold, and something told me to look up. Well, I looked up at the boarded up window, and I heard what sounded like someone running towards me, and then the sound of a hand beating on glass. I, of course, ran as fast as I could out of the yard, and as soon as my feet hit the pavement, it was warm again. After that, I was no longer a skeptic, but with the minimum information that was out in those days, I didn't have much to go on, except to become a ghost hunter. And when I met my wife and moved to Ohio, I met others who were interested in the paranormal, and the rest is history. I'm now the founder of a paranormal investigation group, and, well, that's my story. Hope you all like it, and thanks so much. Yeah, I think that, generally, for someone to dedicate their time to ghost hunting, some people just, they want the answers. Like, they have these questions, and they don't just dismiss them because it's not their own experience. They want to know. They want the truth, whatever that may be, and everybody loves a mystery. So some people are in it for that. So other people had the hell scared out of them somehow, and they want to know what's going on. What was it that did that? How did that happen? What happened that was so far beyond the normal and what would seem to be impossible? So it kind of makes you acknowledge that there's a lot more going on. And so people start investigating, or they start their own shows, which is my own case. I don't know. I'd love to do more investigating too. I really have enjoyed it. When Dan and I did the Coloma investigation, that was amazing. When Julie and I have gone out and looked here or there, or, for different things, we've had a good time doing it, and I enjoyed it. So we'll be, continuing to do that into this next year. That's one thing that I hope you'll see a lot more of on the Paranormal Portal, but we'll see how it all goes. That's the plan anyway. That's one of the plans. But yeah, it's I think that there's usually some catalyzing experience for a lot of people that are into the paranormal. Not always, not exclusively, but it does seem to be a common thread. Here's one from Texas. This one says, early one morning, my husband was leaving for work, and he had kissed me goodbye, and before he left, the kids had woken up, and he brought them into our room, and my kids and I fell back asleep. It was probably about 2 or 3 hours later that I was awoke because I just had this feeling someone was watching me. I'd taken the blankets off my head, and as soon as I looked at my window, I saw a black figure, and it looked like a person just standing there, sort of leaning over as if to try and watch us sleeping. And I jumped out of bed and turned on the light, and I don't know why I turned the light on, because the sun was already lighting up the room. And once I jumped out of bed and turned on the light, the black figure was gone. As soon as this happened, I just had the urge to call my mother. I told her what had happened, and she started to freak out, and she said she had seen the same thing when I was about 1 year old. She had heard me making noise in my bed, and she went to see what I was doing, and as soon as she walked in the room, she saw a black figure leaning over my crib, watching me play with my toys. And this is the only time I myself have seen this black figure. Now, I sat up at night trying to see if I could see the figure, but nothing ever happened. When my mother told me her story, I freaked out. Has anyone had these experiences? What the hell was that? Did you guys hear that pop? Anybody? Did you guys in the chat hear the pop? No, I don't know. Oh, yep, Cha-Cha heard it. Okay. That was weird. That's a brand new one. The static I'm getting used to. That's not brand new anymore. It's happening for some reason. I don't know. It could just be a loose connection somewhere in one of my mic lines or something, but that pop is brand new. That sounded like somebody unplugged the jack or something, but it's all still working. So I don't know. Very strange. Could be a power surge, but I got a power line protector on my gear. Pretty expensive one, so it shouldn't allow power surges to pop through like that. But I don't know. Very strange. Very strange. Okay. Lynn Thomas heard the pop. Okay, good. Janice heard it. Okay. All right, it's not just me. Well, it's good that I'm not the only one hearing these things. 'Cause if I only heard it, then I'll know it was in my headphones. But if you guys heard it too, that means it's somewhere else in the configuration. Now that can help me troubleshoot it if it is just a mundane thing. But it could, I'm not trying to suggest everything like that happens is paranormal, but that is a new one. I've not heard that before. And again, the board is new. We know that because the board I had blew out, and this is the replacement one that you all helped me get. So especially you, MCAT. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. The figure's leaning over the bed, especially when it's a little baby. That would freak me out. If I looked into my little kid's room and saw a dark figure leaning over the bed, that would really freak me out. And, here's the thing. And it's probably programming, because we think of dark, black, creatures as evil, though, of course, the good ones are white. It's kind of a old movie theme. The good cowboys wore the white hats. The bad cowboys wore the black hats. And it was easy to tell who the good and bad guys were because they were dressed accordingly. And so, and I don't really believe that just because you see a dark entity, that means it's evil. I just don't think that that's it at all. I just think that they may choose to appear like a black mass just so that they don't stick out or they don't startle, just to be more subtle. For whatever reason. I don't know why they manifest at all if they don't have to or don't want to be seen, but just saying, I do believe that they can do that at will. But I don't know. To see it over your child, I think any parent, of course, and any sane individual, if you see a little child and something looming over the top of that child that should not be there, automatically that's just like, it's like boom, it's time to go to work. But I don't know. It would still, even though knowing that, I would still be very, very uncomfortable with the idea of something leaning over my kid. Who is, these little babies are helpless. They can't do anything. They can't do anything. So what a horrible experience that would be. But apparently, everybody's turned out okay in those stories. In this case, anyway. But very unusual. Okay, so let's close that one and move along. This one is quite a bit longer. Ooh, this one's a really long one. This one is coming from California, and it's got an odd title, so I don't know what we were looking for, but it includes apparitions, voices, and touches. So let's see what's going on in this one. It says, I'm glad that I got so many responses to the other story that I had sent in, and so many people were helpful with their opinions and insight. But with that said, I wanted to ask everyone what they think about a few things that have started occurring around my house. Am I just suffering from some kind of paranoia? Or is something else really going on? My family bought and moved into a new house at the end of August of this year. This year, of course, was 2008. So that's not really a current story. I really like the house we live in, and up to this point, I've never really felt any presence or anything as I have in the past several residences. When we moved in, the house had a comfortable, inviting aura, and I was sure that I could just relax. Let me give you a brief description of where I live. I live in the rural part of Corona, California. Corona, if you don't know already, has its own paranormal investigation society, and I've heard of a few really active spots in my area, including Horse Thieves Canyon Road, where a lot of people have had an array of different experiences. Unfortunately, I live a distance from there, but in a small but comfortable community. Our house was built in 2000, and the previous owners lived there until they were forced into foreclosure. The bank owned the house, and it's sat unoccupied for 2 years, collecting dust, overgrown weeds, and graffiti on the walls and cabinets from a few kids who had broken in to have a safe place to smoke. We know this because when we were first looking through the house, we noticed a few minuscule cigarette burns in the carpet, along with all the graffiti, which was painted over. Excuse me. Also, rocks had been thrown at the windows, leaving little holes in the outer panes of the upstairs game room. Windows overlooking the street, and it looks like someone shot the guest room bedroom window downstairs with a pellet gun. Other than those minor things, the house is in great shape with properly working plumbing and electricity and ventilation. When we moved in, there was always a lot of movement going on with us moving furniture, unpacking boxes, and etc. Now that things have calmed down a bit, it seems that whatever strange events go on in my house were either amplified by the calmness or otherwise didn't start happening until our family finally calmed down. One thing we noticed right away was that all of our cell phones seemed to lose signal as soon as we enter the first street of our community, and connections are inconsistent between that spot and the cow farm behind us. That in and of itself isn't too terribly strange. We've gotten to know the spots well, and we don't use our phones in those areas because we know they usually drop the call. I'm a pretty observant person, and I noticed right away that the cupboard doors seem to open on their own rather than often, and although I have never actually witnessed it, I would wake up in the morning to get ready for work, and several of them would be wide open. They were new cupboards, and they were constructed really well, and we've checked the fact that they all close and hinge properly. There's even a little weight out to the doors so that they close partially on their own. And they're all just fine, so something had to open them, and I thought this might have been the cats playing in them and exploring, but I started noticing that cupboard doors that they couldn't possibly reach were somehow opening themselves at night. So, okay, so what? A few cupboard doors don't like to stay closed. Bizarre, but nothing serious. The next thing I noticed was the pantry door and the bathroom doors, since One of our cats, Buster, as you might remember from my story about my spirit guardian, had a habit of sleeping in the bathroom cupboards. And I decided to start shutting the bathroom doors at night to keep him out. This would also rule out the possibility that the cupboards opening in the bathroom have something to do with him. However, I'd wake up the next morning to find the pantry door either wide open or halfway closed and all the bathroom doors open. I thought that my brother might be sneaking down at night for a snack, or that my dad had left the pantry door open when he made his lunch before everyone else got up. Those were explainable, but we have 4 bathrooms throughout the house: in my parents' room, next to the game room, next to my room, and downstairs next to the guest bedroom. All of them were open, and I doubt that someone walking or waking up in the middle of the night would just go through and open them all. Again, the doors had been checked and they were hinged and closed properly. But again, no big deal. The next noticeable thing, and this time it was my stepmom who pointed it out, was a bit more strange, but could potentially be explained by the cats, though I think it's unlikely. We have a set of decorative pillows that sit on the couches. Every morning, without fail, we wake up to find a single pillow in the middle of the floor. The other ones are where they were last, and the funny thing is, it's not even the same pillow. It's different pillows each time. But one of them is always on the floor in the exact same spot. Oh. Wow, Justin, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you, brother. That's so cool. Thank you, brother, so much. That's awesome. That helps out a ton. Thanks, brother. Huge. The next thing noticing is this time it was my stepmom who pointed it out. It was a bit strange, but could potentially be explained by the cats, though I think it's unlikely. We have a set of decorative pillows that sit on the couches, and every morning, without fail, we wake to find a single pillow in the middle of the floor. Hey, great. It's the one I just read. See what those donations do? Woo! All right. I don't care. I'll reread the same paragraph all night long if it means you guys are pitching in. That's awesome. I couldn't sleep. Let's see. I skipped way ahead now. The worst of it kept me from sleeping last night. I was having a hard time sleeping, so I was on my computer messing around. I kept getting that feeling of being watched, so I glanced over my shoulder every once in a while to find nothing was there. I thought I was just being silly, and my brother was still awake in his bedroom with his music on low, and I heard him talking to someone on the phone. My parents, of course, were asleep, and I called my fiance and decided to talk to him for a little while, and he reassured me that everything was okay, and that if I needed him to come over, he would. Well, I decided that I would like to try to go to bed, as it was already very late, past 1:30 in the morning, and so I finally lay down. I couldn't sleep, however, and I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was nearby me and didn't belong there. Out of nowhere, I heard this really loud series of pops, like the sound someone makes when they poke ventilation holes in the plastic seal over a frozen dinner plate with a fork. I thought that my brother might have gone downstairs for food, though I hadn't heard him open his door. Still, I decided to call my fiance back and told him about the sound, and I asked him to stay on the phone with me in case. And I went downstairs to check things out and found that someone had broken in or something, though that didn't seem likely because we have a house alarm. I knew instantly that it wasn't my brother because as I walked out of the hallway, I could still hear his voice from within his room. I went downstairs with my fiance still on the phone with me, and I could see the kitchen light on. And when I got to the kitchen, no one was around. And nothing was out of place. The cats were nowhere to be seen, but I didn't think it was them that had caused the noise anyway. I was telling my fiance how strange it was when my phone suddenly started freaking out. He was talking to me, but his voice began skipping, and in between I could hear static and interference so loud that it made me pull the phone away from my ear because it hurt. Usually if we had bad reception, the call would drop, but I had never experienced any interference. Then, as if on cue, the call dropped. I was getting a bit freaked out, and on top of that, I had the watched feeling very strong in my gut, and I jogged back upstairs and immediately tried calling my fiance back on the house phone. I tried calling him 4 times and the line refused to go through, and that's a landline, and I've never experienced problems with before. I'd made absolutely sure I was dialing the right number as well, and finally I picked up my cell phone again and called him. And this time he answered, and he told me that he hadn't had any missed calls from me. I was really tripping out now, so I decided to stay upstairs for the rest of the night. I shut and locked my door, and I was sure that if I said anything to my brother, he'd just have a laugh and tell me to go to bed. Well, I fired up the Xbox and played a few rounds of a game with my fiance, which allowed me to keep talking to him through the voice chat, and after a while, I started feeling really tired again, so I told him that I would try to get some sleep and worry about it the next day, and he promised to stay by the phone in case I called him back. Well, I turned the lights out, put on some music, and laid down on the big comfy blanket my fiance had bought for me while in Kuwait, and it reminds me of him and makes me feel safe. I figured that if I needed all the comfort I could get right at that time. I remember glancing at the clock before I took off my glasses, and it read 1:57. For a few minutes, I tried to sleep. Thanks, MCAT. Let's make it an even hundy tonight. Oh my God, you guys are great. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. That just is incredible. You guys are truly amazing. Wow. It really means so much to us. Thank you so, so much. Do I hear 150? 150. 150. All right. Let's see, where was I? So I read for a few minutes. I tried to sleep. I lay flat on my stomach with the blanket pulled up around my shoulders, and I did my best to clear my mind. After only a few minutes, I felt the same feeling of being watched again, but this time it was close and almost crushing. My instincts were screaming at me to yell or to get up and run out of the room. The first thing I did was begin counting my breaths and listening steadily to the sounds around me just to make sure that I was really awake. I could feel someone's presence very strongly, as though they were standing right over me, and all of a sudden the room seemed to get very hot. I could feel my face getting warm and heat up spreading across me like a fever. I began to hear sporadic tapping sounds, much louder than the music, and that sounded like they were coming from my window. I was just too afraid to open my eyes, so I did my best to ignore it. And it wasn't long before the feeling got so strong that I began feeling sick to my stomach and a little bit dizzy. I felt like someone was leaning over my shoulder very close to my face. I could even feel short, warm puffs of air, like someone breathing right above me. It scared me so much that because of most of the stories I'd heard about ghosts and apparitions tell of the room getting cold, I was afraid that somehow a living person had crept into my room and hidden my closet or something, waiting for me to make myself vulnerable. I just couldn't take it anymore. I told myself that even if I saw something that scared me, I would have to do my best to be brave and tell it to go away. If it was a person, I would fight and scream. I turned over very quickly and threw the blanket back, but nothing was there. I did not speak out loud, but very strongly in my head, I said, "Stop it. I'm trying to sleep." The tapping noise suddenly stopped, and the repressive feeling left the room almost instantly. Seriously concerned, I got up and called my fiancé back and tried to explain what had just happened, though something told me to leave out the part about the feelings I had that someone was leaning over me. It was 2:07 a.m. and exactly 10 minutes from the second time I'd tried to lay down. He answered, and we talked for a little while, and he told me that I should spend a little time doing something until I was so exhausted that I'd just fall asleep easily. So I got on my computer and played a game, and I stayed on the phone with him until 3:30, when I was too tired to stay awake any longer. Well, I shut everything down and said goodnight to my fiancé and finally went to sleep. When I woke up, it was roughly 5 minutes before my alarm was supposed to wake me up, which was 5:30. And it was again warm in my room, but I was shaking like I was freezing. I didn't have a fever or feel cold at all. I was just shaking really hard, and I lay there for a few minutes trying to compose myself. I couldn't remember dreaming about anything, so I had no idea why my body was acting that way. I finally calmed down and got up for work. I have no idea what all these things mean, and I'm not sure if I was visited by a spirit last night or if I just have some sort of extreme case of paranoia. All I know is that whatever happened last night, it really scared me all day long. I've been paying the price for staying up so late, and I'm very frustrated, and I want to know if anyone has any ideas as to what I experienced. Thank you for reading. I think you experienced a haunting. You might be haunted. I don't know. It's hard to say. The worm is it is atypical. I mean, it does kind of come up from time to time, but it's really not common. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if that's a different spiritual presence. Like if the warm ones are they warm because they're from the pits of hell, or are they warm just because they're loving? I don't know. It's hard to say. You're both. I've heard both types, so I don't know what to tell you. But the fact that the person was feeling fear, was that an instinctual fear, or was that just a fear because something was going on that they just had a hard time dealing with? I don't know. Hard to know, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard to know. All right, so let's see. Yeah, thank you both so much. I don't see a podcast. What? Paranormal Portal. I don't see a podcast. In the Dropbox or in the Drive, Don? I don't understand. I put it up there, brother. Did you delete it out by accident? I can put it up again. Let me see. Who was it? Oh, yeah, I remember who it was. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Technical difficulties here on the Paranormal Portal. No podcast in the Drive. Nope. Yeah, I dragged it in there, but let me do it again. I can do it now as we're on the air. Don is producing our podcast for tomorrow. God bless him. He helps out a ton on that, which is awesome. Let me pull up. There it is. I'm just getting it up now, brother. I'll pull it up there again. Who did I talk to? I got to go through the list here and see who it was. We've got dozens of them now, and it's crazy. Sorry. Just be a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Talk quietly amongst yourselves. Let me go to a quick break while I dig this up for Don. You guys just hang back. I'll play you a nice song. Want to hear it? Here you go. All right, I think I got it all straightened out. It's uploading now, Mr. Longbeard. I think. Yes, it's uploading. It's Glenn from Tennessee, so that should be the episode you're looking for, Mr. Longbeard. I hope that sets you up. All right, so sorry about that, guys, but I hope you enjoyed the music. I gotta showcase my tunes. Yeah, definitely. I see Peter Turk's in there. I was just listening to your tunes again, brother, as I was getting ready for the show tonight. I love your stuff. Check him out on Spotify, or check out his page. I got the link somewhere. Let me look. I'll put it in the chat for you guys because it's just that good. It's just that good. Let me see, where the hell is it? No. I think I don't know how you sent it to me. Did you send it to me via email or through chat? I'm trying to remember. I get a gajillion messages a day, so let me just do this new message, and I'll do your name and see if it comes up. Peter. I don't know if are we friends, Peter? Did you friend my Brent Thomas page, or I don't know. Let me see. There you are. Okay, I got you. Let's see. I got the link here, but there's nothing in it. I'm going to message you on Facebook, Peter. Send me the link to your song page. Okay. So, but once you get this, definitely check it out. You guys will love this music. I hope you'll love it. I mean, I really do think this is about to blow up. It's really great, great music. And I can't wait to work with the guy, see what we can pull up together. So I messaged you on Facebook, Peter. If you get a chance, send me that link and I'll put it up in our chat so people can go check it out. If you don't mind. All right, I'm going to continue reading stories because that's what I do. That's part of what I do here on the Paranormal Portal. Again, sorry for that confusion there. I guess I thought it uploaded. It's almost halfway now done, but keep an eye on that. If it doesn't pop up, yell at me again. It should be about halfway done. I don't know if you see it uploading into the drive before it's actually done, but yeah, Don put up his Spotify page. That's true too. Okay. I know it's Spotify, Don, but I was talking about his page for downloading. But yeah, it's not just the Spotify link that we're looking for, guys. I appreciate you spamming the chat, but I'm talking about his personal page that you can download the songs from. So anyway, let's continue on. So we're going to go to California. Let's see how long this one is. This one's not too long. It says this happened on Saturday, September 20th. It was about 8 p.m. and my boyfriend and I were at his house alone. He lives with his brother and son who were out at Quinceanera party. Quinceanera? I don't know. I have high school Spanish 1 year, so I'm doing the best I can. Sorry, guys. We had been alone since about 4 p.m. and nothing strange had happened. Well, actually, neither my boyfriend nor his brother have ever noticed anything strange at their house. It was about 8 p.m. and we were watching soccer, and we hadn't watched any scary movies or talked about ghost stories at all, even though we love them and often do. And suddenly, I heard some noises like plastic bags being moved around and footsteps right outside the front door. And we assumed his brother had come home. But after a while of waiting for them to come in, I told my boyfriend to look outside. We all went away out to the street to look around and saw nothing. And there were no people out in the streets or even cars, which is not very strange because it is a quiet town. And everyone is really very friendly and respectful. So we ignored it, went back to watching TV. And, well, not very long after that, I heard two men talking right outside the door. Once again, I thought his brother had come home, and I said something to my boyfriend about it, and He said he didn't hear any voices. He looked out the window and there was nothing there. There was nobody there. And once more we heard sounds or steps and sounds at the door. It sounded like plastic bags being moved around and metal being dropped and dragged. And this time I tiptoed to the door without making any noise. And while I could still hear the sounds, I didn't hear anyone. By now we were getting pretty freaked out. My boyfriend claimed to hear a woman's voice. So I decided to look around the house and make sure all the doors were locked. And I started hearing the man's voices again. So I told my boyfriend to mute the TV. And the TV went mute. The little speaker with a line across it appeared on the screen, as it usually does when we mute the TV. And I listened and heard nothing, but my boyfriend looked at me all freaked out because he didn't press mute. He didn't even have the remote in his hand. We only heard the noises outside the door a couple more times, the plastic bags and metal being moved around. So what do you guys think was happening? I don't know. You heard some noises for sure. I think the coolest part is the TV muting itself. But, that might freak some people out. But I don't know. That kind of stuff doesn't seem to bother me. Usually, when things like that have happened to me, they don't generally bother me. Not that I can't be bothered, but that doesn't usually bother me. So, let's see. This one is coming from California. Again, it's a popular place tonight, California. California dreaming. All right. We had a party for my grandmother's 60th birthday, and I was up at 2 a.m. with my uncle and his friend, Angel. We went to his house where his parents were sleeping in their room, and I'd invited my boyfriend, so it was my boyfriend, my uncle, and Angel, and I. My uncle went into a room to get a DVD case so we could pick out a movie for the night, and as my uncle went to get the case, my boyfriend went to the bathroom, leaving just Angel and I in the room. There was an empty beer can on the table across from us, and it started to vibrate. We looked at each other and just assumed it was just the two rotating fans in the room in the kitchen, and the can rattled again, and this time we paid attention to the way the fans were rotating. By then, my boyfriend was back, and my uncle was still looking for that darn DVD case. And as the fan blew in the direction of the can, it didn't move. That meant the fan was out of the question. We know that a lot of stuff happens where we live, or where they live, so we just ignored it. It rattled again, and Angel finally said, "Is there someone in here? Could you shake the can?" The can shook again, and my uncle came in from the hall with the DVDs, and we told him what had happened, and he just said, "Oh, I guess Josh is here." Then he said, "Hi," and the can shook. So I guess he's pretty accustomed to this. Yeah, it's just Josh. Yeah, darn Josh. Brent is going back to back. I guess we're reconnected. I have no idea. I don't know what the hell's going on. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Shit, that probably did screw up the download, didn't it? Yes, it did. Are you guys hearing me? I see the chat still rolling. Okay, good. All right. It's a funky night on the portal, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Paranormal Portal, the only paranormal show in existence that is actually haunted. Periodically so. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell's going on. I have no idea. Connections drop. That happens. That's not paranormal and in and of itself, but it's not disconnected all day. And now it's just not for weeks and weeks and weeks. So you can always blame Don, Duke. Don't sell him short. It can always be Don's fault. I mean, I don't know what you're saying there, brother. Don can always be the problem. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what's going. I don't know what's doing it. No, there's no snow up here, Lewis. It's been like 50 degrees and nice for the last few days. In fact, there's almost no snow on the ground. It's just little small patches of snow. So I can't even blame it on the winter weather. I don't know. Weird stuff, but it is the internets and it is northern tip of Idaho. What the hell now? I don't know what's going on, guys. My stuff is just freaking out tonight. Don't have an answer. Maybe we should just have a chat. How you guys doing? Everything good? Yeah. It's Revenge of the Ghosts. They don't like me telling their secrets or something, maybe. No, I don't think it's that. Don's beard sheddings. Don sheds. He sheds like a kitten. No, it's not that at all. But let me see if Peter sent me that link so I can put it in there for you guys. Because that would be lovely. Yes, there it is. Oh, that's an easy link too. I like that. Okay. Here's Peter's link. What the hell? Copy link address. I'll paste it in the chat so you guys can see it. Oh, Christ, that's a lot huger than I thought. No, that's not the one I want. Let me do this. Let me just put it in there like it's typed. It is just www.peterturk.com. That's Peter's page. You can go check out his music, perhaps download, and check it out. You can listen to it there too. If you haven't heard the music, you can obviously listen to it prior to downloading it if you like it. But I'm enamored with it. I think the man is definitely sincerely gifted. Sincerely gifted. So I don't know. I guess we're at about the 50-minute mark anyway. I don't know what's going on tonight. I don't know. It is the portal. But it's also, again, we're also on the northern tip of Idaho. It's not like we got the cutting edge technology up here either. I do pay for cutting edge technology, but it's not what we have. So anyway, I don't know if there's much more I can do tonight. You didn't give me a heads up. Bummer. So I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Read one more. All right, Duke, I'll read one more. We'll get through one more. In fact, I got one more pulled up, and it's not too long. So I'll read one more. And this is coming from Texas. It says, I'm a 37-year-old male living in Dallas, Texas. I've been bothered and harassed by something since I was about 8 years old. It really sounds so crazy that I've only told a few people. When I was young, I would feel things in my house that I grew up in. And it was during these years that I first experienced paralysis during sleep, as I felt something hovering above my body. If that wasn't enough to terrify me, I started feeling the presence of something malevolent on a continual basis. I'd sleep with my closet light on and eventually become an insomniac. The most terrifying thing I experienced in that house, which I've never seen it as a home, was when I was 14 and on my way to go to the bus stop for school. I realized that I'd forgotten something and decided to go back in to get it. And as I was walking up to the house, I saw a cloaked, black, faceless figure in my father's bedroom. It stopped me in my tracks, and I just stared. And when it noticed me, it moved the curtains back over itself. And I ran screaming all the way back to the bus stop. I told my dad about it, and he said to pray. I suspected he had experienced strange things too, although he would never admit it. I moved out of that house at 18. I rarely went back and haven't been back there for 10 years. They've had so many instances of feeling the malevolent presence. It would take all night to write about it, so I'll update you from the past year. I'd been living with friends for the past year and so many months, and this family is extremely religious. The husband is a deacon at my former church. I feel that the information is noteworthy. I am also a Christian. The moment I stepped in that house, I felt two different entities. One was a familiar one from all these years, and another was the spirit of an older man. And I stayed up late at night, a lot on the computer, and I would feel like someone was watching me in the kitchen. Also, I constantly felt this spirit, a ghost, I think, in the utility room, and I never felt the spirit anywhere else in the house. I can't tell you how many things came up missing. It became a running joke. The most disturbing, though, was this evil presence I continued to feel and eventually see as a black shadow in the corner of the room, high up in the ceiling. Now I would hear a soft, muffled talking and feel something touching my feet and legs. This happened off and on, and the entire time I was there. I moved out eight weeks ago, and up until a couple of weeks ago, I thought all of this had ended. Now, I'm feeling this evil entity again at night. I've been researching things, and I wonder if this is maybe a poltergeist. I am bipolar, not psychotic, and I take my medication, so please, respectfully, don't tell me I may have been hallucinating. Could my depression and childhood issues from abuse cause this thing? If anyone could shed some light on how or why something would follow me all this time, I'd appreciate it. I constantly pray in Jesus' name out loud, please help. That's absolutely terrifying. A dark presence is you feel powerless. The thing I think to remember, the most important thing to remember is that you're never powerless. An entity may want you to feel that way because fear is a surrender. When you're afraid, your aura, your natural protection diminishes. You are surrendering yourself to something. You're giving it power over you. And no matter how hard it may be, you can never let that happen. If you're dealing with something dark and negative, you have to be strong. You have to find it in yourself to be strong because if indeed you are dealing with something truly evil, you can't let it win. You just can't let it get inside of you. You can't allow it to permeate you. And it's going to try. These things have nothing but time. They have all the time in creation to do whatever it is they're going to do. And if they're intent on getting to somebody, they're going to make you their personal hobby. They're going to sit back and watch and wait and watch and wait and watch and wait, because it's just all relative to them. They don't have to do anything except wait. So be careful about such things. I'm not trying to make you afraid. What I'm trying to make you feel is empowered, because you always are empowered. They will try to fool you into thinking you're not, but we are always empowered over the dark things. We just don't know it. They excel at making us feel powerless. So, when you feel that presence, cast it out, cast it away, push it away, demand it to leave. In your faith, in your whatever religion you observe, in whatever manner or practice you observe, cast it out in the name of whatever's holy and light. Just don't ever surrender. Don't ever allow fear to rule you, because once you surrender that, then you're in real trouble. It's a battle either way, but there are always people willing to help. And if you're dealing with something dark and ugly and need some help, please let us know. We have several people attached to the show that would love to be there and help you deal with things that are hard and traumatic. We have psychics that don't have to come to your house. They can just communicate with you through many of our modern means. And they can help from a distance. They can project and do what they do. We have people like Barb Charlton, who helps people deal with PTSD from severe traumatic events, such as paranormal events. And she has volunteered her services to help people, and has done a wonderful job helping a lot of people put themselves back together following extreme terror. In such things as cryptid encounters, Bigfoot encounters. I think she's dealt with some dogman issues for people. She's helped people with haunting issues. So, she's really done some great things, and the feedback I get from those people is incredible. So we have a lot of resources here on the portal, and I'm very proud of that. We have paranormal investigators. MCAT is one. Lisa Martin is one. Dan Pruitt is one. Myself and our team can be one as well. I wouldn't say we're necessarily professional, but we're working on it. But we have a lot of those resources. And we have psychics like Deb, who are happy to help you, deal with things as well. Dee Swiger, Sean, Joel, a lot of different people have asked to be helpful if they can be. So there are resources, ladies and gentlemen. We have people like Duke that can help with you're dealing with cryptid situations. Duke is pretty well-versed, extraordinarily well-versed in the cryptid field, and can help you come to terms. And we have people like Robin as well. Robin Moonshadow can help you if you're dealing with little people stuff. So lots of resources. And so we're happy to help. If you're dealing with something that's out of your control and you need a little help and need an extra input or guidance or assistance, reach out to us and let us know. We'd be happy to be there for you. Again, this is not charged. This is not like, hey, send us $500 and we'll be there for you. It's not like that. So just some ideas, some options, ladies and gentlemen. But I guess that's going to wrap up the show for tonight. Sorry for the technical issues. I don't know what the hell's going on. You could ghost a ghost group anxiety. You could ghost a ghost group anxiety. Yeah. But anyway, there you go. That is, I guess, our show tonight. Sorry for this goofy stuff that was going on. Not saying it was paranormal. Not saying it wasn't, but it's odd. I don't know why. Now it's all back to normal again. So for whatever reason, things just go weird on the portal. But I hope you all have a wonderful night. Toolman Tim, good to see you, brother. Gemini, how you doing? D, Don, that should be in the drive now. It's showing me a green light. So if you would, please check that and let me know in the chat whether you got it. Good show, Brent. Well, thank you, Christina. You're so sweet. It's just a good show. I mean, it's not a bad show, but it's just when things go sideways, it's like, oh, God. There's such an incontinuity. Okay, Don, you got it. Good, brother. Fun night in the portal. Thanks, Gemini. You guys are so forgiving. Cha-Cha needs an exorcist, so we'll have to see if she might mean aerobics instructor, though. I'm not sure what's going on. Sorry. I couldn't resist. I know I'm just a dick sometimes, but I'm just having fun. Cha-Cha knows I love her. But anyway, guys, we are all, we on the portal are all happy you're here. Thank you so much. Again, weird night, but we got through it all the same. Have a happy Monday. I will be back tomorrow night, of course, for more of this Paranormal Portal fun that we call the Night Terrors. And I'll be back then at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow night. I'm not sure about the whole holiday shows, what I'm going to do yet, but I'll probably come in and spend some time with you guys. I'm just saying probably. So if you guys are hanging out on Christmas, don't have anything going on because you're family. I can't leave family alone on the holidays, so I suppose I'll have to come in and hang out with you. And then, of course, it's something I love doing. So, but I'll let you know for sure as we get closer, or I'll just surprise you. So either way, but I love you guys. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody. And I will be back tomorrow night. We'll see y'all, and sweet dreams.